See you later. Perfect. Brian, are you ready? How's it going? Are you muted? I don't hear you yet. Could be. It's funny because you're not muted, so it could be an audio issue.
Hey, can you hear me
Ah,
now?
there it is.
Great, there we go.
Perfect. Awesome. I'm really looking forward to this tool, guys. We're going to do a quick demo showcase of Wonderment and all the amazing things that you can do in mitigating where's your order tickets and improving that post-purchase experience, which is going to flood your store right around, I'd imagine right around the beginning of December, right, Brian? That's when business really picks up for you.
Yeah.
And you can see like, problems starting to really go through the roof. So I think anything we can do first to mitigate problems, and then second to kind of just improve that like anxiety moment that customers have about like where the order is in the process, and like, is it going to reach me? Is it going to come damaged? Like what happened? I have a personal story, totally unrelated, but I sent I'm getting my watch fixed. It's a nice watch. And separately, I had to send them a bunch of the links. I had extra links. They're going to swap out one of the links on this watch. So I sent it via USPS, and the tracking notice just says out for delivery September 23rd. And I'm like, okay, great. Did it get delivered? Like, I have this product insured. It's expensive. I want to make sure that it gets there. And so I talked to the company, and they're like, yes, in fact, we did receive it, and we have the links. But I didn't know otherwise, and so I'm like over here like biting my nails. Am I going to get the insurance money? What's going to happen? So, all right, that's my story from it. I'm going to add your screen here to the presentation. I'll let you. Maybe you don't want to see this one.
Nope, here we go. We're
When you're
here.
ready,
Let's do it.
move over to it.
Last minute changes always.
Yeah.
Awesome.
To the flows and sequences. All right, I'll let you take it away from here, and I'm looking forward to this.
Great. Thanks, Derek. So I'm Brian. I'm one of the founders of Wonderment. This is a company, a lot like the story Derek was just telling, that was born out of talking to merchants who are having issues with shipping and trying to figure out better ways to solve them, get ahead of any kind of post-purchase weirdness where people are writing in and haven't received their package yet and already are unhappy, and turns it into just a uncomfortable situation and really expensive on your support team. This is a company that's just born out of COVID shipping issues. Last summer, I was working on a new app with my co-founders, and we got a bunch of feedback from merchants that were like, hey, we're excited about what you're working on, but we're starting to have a lot of shipping issues. And nobody can really help us or tell us where our packages are or what's going on. We think we might have a lot of lost packages out there. Can you help us identify like where these packages are before we start to get lots of messages from our customers? And learning that there wasn't a great solution for this really opened my eyes to the world of fulfillment and shipping issues and everything. And discovered that shipping data is kind of a black box to a lot of people today, where you don't have access to knowing what really happens to a package after it leaves the loading dock at your warehouse or at your 3PL. And it makes it really hard for you to communicate proactively with your customers so that they know what to expect about when's it actually coming, what's going to happen if it's late or doesn't arrive, and helping give them more comfort about it. And so that's exactly what we built with Wonderment. We wanted to build the order tracking that would give your customers lots of confidence about what's coming, when is it coming, and you the data that you need so that you can manage your business better. We're a Shopify native app. And so our customers that come in and are using the app every day start off with a dashboard that's just like this, where we can tell them, hey, here's the shipments that you have that are, have gone for days without an update from the carrier. And so they're either lost somewhere out there or in some long-term delay where you might want to be able to communicate with those customers and be like, hey, it is on its way, even though it looks like it hasn't moved in a few days. And if it doesn't start moving soon, we're aware of it, we'll take care of it. And what we found was that stores that communicate with their customers in that way see dramatically fewer support tickets around where's my order type topics, because the number one thing customers wanted to hear was that the brand was aware of this and not just firing packages off blindly and never hearing about it. And I think we can relate to this as consumers ourselves. Anytime you order something, if anything goes wrong with it, you're like, how much of a customer service hassle is this going to be? How many emails or calls do I have to make to get my money back or get the product that I wanted or get this problem solved. We want that to be easy and efficient. And brands are finding that if they do this kind of proactive communication, it really solves a lot of pain and struggle for their customers and gives them much better conversations this way. And so we wanted to start proactively finding all the types of shipping issues that customers might complain about or be concerned about, and making sure that brands had the data to proactively solve those problems as they go. So we surface the shipping data in a bunch of different ways. First of all, through a dashboard that helps a brand understand exactly where are my packages out in the world right now, and which ones are running really late, or might I want to look into more, and be able to work with those and follow up maybe on a one-by-one basis, or if they get a specific complaint from a specific customer, being able to check into it and getting the complete history of what's happened to that package, where it's going, etc. And then we also surface this into a bunch of roll-ups that can help you identify, hey, which of my carriers are doing really well with right now, and which ones aren't, or might be falling behind on a specific service level or something like that. And so this can give you a good understanding of like, what is my actual typical customer experience like for somebody who orders and says that they want USPS delivery? How often are they getting a really great level of service and things are being delivered in just a couple of days? And then how many of them are seeing results where like, oh, they might be waiting 2 weeks for a package, and when is that happening, or why is that happening? And so being able to surface that for both the carriers by the carrier or by the service level that it was shipped on, to be able to understand, hey, how good is like my parcel select service versus my first class service? How much better performance am I getting, and where am I seeing these delays? Or how real is my 2-day shipping? If you offer 2-day shipping at a certain level, how often is that actually hitting in 2 days right now? Or is it actually taking 4 to 7 days for some of those to hit? And so you can be really confident in what kind of customer service experience you're delivering today. And then being able to click into any one of these and understand exactly which packages are in that bucket. So if you want to follow up with these customers or understand the whole journey of like, well, maybe these all left on like one day, and that was the bad day when the truck left the warehouse and then things didn't get scanned in on time. They sat at a warehouse for a while. This can be a really nice reminder of, hey, here's what packages are taking a long time, and here's what happened. And so you can really dig in and understand exactly what happened in these situations. And then beyond that, we realized that this data was a black box and people wanted to use it to communicate and not just in like one-by-one methods. We wanted to take this data and make it available in all of the other platforms or systems that you might want to use it in. And so we've built a lot of really powerful integrations so you can use this shipping data with any of the communication platforms that you already use, whether that's like the Shopify native fulfillments and the native communication tools that Shopify gives you, or apps like Klavio, PostScript, Gorgeous, and Voyage SMS. And then for other tools that you might want to bring it into that we don't have an integration for yet, we also support webhooks, so that you can take this data and send it out to like Zapier or Slack or Google Sheets or something like that. And then over time, we'll continue to add more integrations, especially on the communication side. But this gives you a really nice way to take this data and put it into any other system that you want to have it in, so that you can build your own custom reporting or answer questions or flag things for follow-up by like a customer service team by putting it into a Google Sheet when a specific error occurs or something like that, or notifying a team on Slack when there's a delivery error so that someone can follow up and find out what happened right away, rather than waiting a couple of days and then finding out that the customer is complaining and then needing to manage that situation. And through these, we also integrate with a lot of, through the Shopify fulfillment events, we also integrate with a lot of reviews platforms like Okendo, Judge Me, Stamped, Luke's. And so you can use this data to make sure that you're only requesting reviews from people that have actually had a delivery on their order. So no more of the reviews that are like, well, I was asked to leave this review, but I haven't actually received my gift yet or my package yet. That's a really frustrating review to ever get. And so this way you can make sure that it was scanned, delivered, and then you waited 2 days, and then the review was left at that point when they've actually gotten to have the package and get it from there. So a lot of flexibility there with different platforms and being able to take your data out into any other systems you'd want to see it in. So for Klavio, this is definitely our most popular integration in the ways that people want to see it the most. We also have a library of example workflows and email templates that we give to our customers when they sign on. And so we found that this also makes it a lot easier for them to get going by providing a really good default flow that helps them understand this is exactly how to use this data. And so in this example, this is for a stalled shipment, a shipment that hasn't gotten a scan in a few days. The event will come into Klavio saying, hey, this package hasn't been scanned in a couple of days. And in this example, it waits until daytime in the person's time zone to say, all right, wait until early afternoon in their time zone to make sure that they see this message, and then send them an email that's like, hey, here's the update on your order. We've noticed that it's running late, but we'll get it out to you soon. And then you can also then check and see, hey, is this going to my home country, or is this a domestic package or an international package? And flag for further follow-up from there. We see a lot of issues like with customs where something might be getting sent overseas, might sit at a customs office for a week. And so it's good to be able to flag and watch for those packages that are going overseas and say, hey, we'll have a little bit more allowance for time to be late on those. But if a package at this point is, several days delayed and is going inside of the domestic US, we want to elevate a notification to our customer support team saying, rather than just messaging the customer over and over again, elevating a message to the customer support team saying, hey, this hasn't moved in 7 days. Something's probably wrong at this point. Let's make sure that we're on top of it and resolving it however this needs to be handled, whether it's a reship or a refund or anything else at that point. And so this gets to really illustrate like the real power of like Klavio workflows and those systems that way, and the interaction there. And so this data is available for all of our shipping events, from everything from when it's first picked up or the label's printed at your warehouse or at your 3PL to when it's out for delivery or delivered, and any errors that can happen along the way. So you can completely customize this messaging for every step of the journey, whether it's good notifications or bad ones. And the same data is also available for other platforms. And so we have some other examples of like how to configure this for PostScript or other platforms that you might be using for customer communication this way, and can be really helpful because we want you to be able to use whatever platforms you prefer rather than trying to send it all out ourselves. And that way you can use the SMS consent list that you've been building. You can continue those conversations that way and have a complete record in all of your other systems about how you've been interacting with these people over time. The other big resource that we've been giving to a lot of our customers is branded tracking pages using this data. So being able to give an order lookup page that can be linked to either from a website or from email or an SMS or something like that brings someone directly to a page with the updated stats on their order, rather than sending them out to like FedEx.com or USPS or somebody like that, where they're on somebody else's website. There's no customer service information there. There's nothing that can really help them. It's just, here's the status of your package and no next steps from there. And so this way you can keep people inside of your branded experience on your website and give them a really rich experience that communicates your brand, your messages, your customer service information with the updated status on that package. And these are really fully configurable, so you can make it look and feel like your brand rather than it being like a page that we host on our website or something like that. We wanted to make sure that this really felt like a Shopify native experience and something that really felt like a part of an extension of your store, but on your store's domain and your theme, your header and footer and everything else, so that your customers really feel like they're still interacting with you as they do this. And there's a consistent branding and messaging. And so here's an example of like one style of this page where you can have like large highlighted lifestyle messaging, the history of the package, the contents of this order, and the abilities to like add upsells or other messaging here. It's like these folks are using this to help build their SMS consent list this way. This is a Klavio form that's embedded on this page, and signing up for this puts them into like their Klavio content, which is a really nice way for them to be building this list up and expanding that as like a marketing resource for themselves. We've seen from a lot of these folks who will put this page in their navigation and link to it from their email, say that it becomes one of the top traffic pages on their website, especially because of returning customers, and becomes a really valuable tool for retention that way, being able to position upsells or other messaging, product offers, things like that in front of an audience that's already engaged and interacting with the brand. It's a great marketing resource this way. So, and to illustrate just how different these can be, or how much control you can have over the styling and appearance and look and feel of these. So this is one page that we're hosting for one brand. But then this is another one, still a Wonderment hosted page, but a completely different look and feel, where they have this like beautiful pastel palette that they love to use for their brand and their styling, and wanted to make it really feel like a native part of their website. And so like gorgeous styling, upsells and referrals to other products, a referral block to their customer referral plan, and then like a little video that they wanted to host from Wistia, and a link to their like VIP Facebook group. And so having this feel like a really like native, natural part of their website, an extension of their marketing presence and their brand, but something that we can help power the tracking technology behind this to make this really functional this way. So that's Wonderment at a high level. This is what we're working on and continuing to build more tooling, more carrier support, and more power into, so that brands on Shopify and eventually e-commerce brands all over have really great access into their shipping data and the ability to use it as an asset, whether for improving customer retention and customer success, helping more customers have great interactions up front, and as a marketing asset to help retain customers, do post-purchase sales and surveys and things like that. And understanding what your customer's experience really is like through your shipping, and what the typical customer sees at the end.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I think turning shipping and logistics from what is like typically a worry into a marketing resource. I love it as a concept, and we're seeing this, being adopted more and more by brands today. So I think you're on the leading edge of it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Brian,
Great.
thanks so much for showing us the tool. I'm excited to see the growth of Wonderment. I would place bets on you if I could. I think we're going to see this firmly adopted by thousands and thousands of e-commerce brands. So thanks so much for showing us where you're at today and what we can look forward to when we're using your tool.
Thanks, Derek. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Awesome. And of course, everybody here, you can check out Wonderment. We have the link to their tool in the show notes, which I have linked a few times. If you don't have them, say something in chat. I'll make sure you've got a link to the show notes, and we'll also put a link to Wonderment in the chat for you just in case. Thanks again, Brian. We're moving directly into our next session.